Discover the latest updates in the realms of cryptocurrency, politics, technology, and beyond. Discover the latest updates in the realms of cryptocurrency, politics, technology, and beyond. Stay informed with Newssource Crawlers edition from May 28, 2025, which provides a comprehensive daily news digest. YouTube music charts, global top songs for the week of May 16 to May 22, 2025. 1. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. 2. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. 3. Paso Bem Solto, Slowed by ATLXS. 4. El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and Jair Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from Friday, May 16 to Thursday, May 22, 2025. Includes the following tracks. Ordinary by Alex Warren, Die with a Smile featuring Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, and Back to Friends by Sommer. Discover the most popular games on Steam. This list highlights the leading titles in terms of sales and player engagement worldwide. Based on the top 100 revenue-generating products, here are the standout games from Tuesday, May 20, 2025, to Tuesday, May 27, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, Dota 2, Helldivers 2, and Elden Ring Nitrain. CIS's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. New guidance has been provided for the implementation of Security Information and Event Management, SIEM, and Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response, SOAR, systems. There is an updated advisory concerning cyber threat activities aimed at Commvault's SaaS cloud application, known as Metallic. A new best practices guide has been released, focusing on securing data related to artificial intelligence. Furthermore, threat actors are using the Lumacy2 malware to target critical infrastructure in the United States. Lastly, Russian GRU cyber actors are actively targeting logistics entities and technology companies in the Western world. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Datadog's Toto Open Base 1.0, Toto, which stands for Time Series Optimized Transformer for Observability, is an advanced time series foundation model specifically crafted for forecasting multiple variables while focusing on observability metrics. It adeptly manages high-dimensional, sparse, and non-stationary data, which are typical in observability contexts. Key features include zero-shot forecasting, allowing for predictions without the need for fine-tuning on your particular time series, high-dimension multivariate support, which efficiently processes numerous variables through proportional factorized spacetime attention, a decoder-only transformer architecture that accommodates variable prediction horizons and context lengths, probabilistic predictions, which produce both point forecasts and uncertainty estimates using a student T-mixture model, and extensive pre-training on large-scale data, having been trained on over 2 trillion time series data points, marking the largest pre-training dataset for any open-weights time series foundation model to date. Toto is designed to excel in observability metrics, achieving state-of-the-art performance on benchmarks like GiftEval and Boom. Trump proposes implementing a 50% tariff on European Union products beginning in June. He warns that Apple and other major technology companies could face a 25% tariff if they do not begin producing their devices within the United States. This move is part of Trump's strategy to target Samsung and Apple phones with potential tariffs. In the United States, tariffs set at 10% currently bring in $30 billion each month without causing any price hikes, according to the Commerce Secretary. Trump clarifies that his tariff strategy aims to encourage the production of heavy machinery, like tanks, rather than clothing, such as T-shirts, in the U.S. Vietnam has instructed the blocking of the messaging app Telegram, as indicated by a government document. In a global operation, Europol has dismantled ransomware networks, resulting in the confiscation of 300 servers and €3.5 million. The BSI has reported that approximately half of young individuals express a desire to live in a future devoid of the Internet. The German defense minister has indicated that the military draft might be reinstated if the number of volunteers does not meet expectations. Over the last 3 years, The United States military has allocated $6 billion towards efforts aimed at recruiting and retaining military personnel. China has introduced new regulations designed to safeguard its military-industrial facilities. Trump is insisting on obtaining a list of Harvard's international students as he intensifies his conflict with the university, and he is considering redirecting $3 billion in Harvard's grants to trade schools. This move has been noted as potentially disrupting the studies of Belgium's Princess Elizabeth due to a proposed ban on international students at Harvard. Japan is urging American colleges to admit students from the U.S. following the Harvard ban, and the U.S. has paused new student visa interviews in anticipation of implementing social media screening. The Wall Street Journal indicates that immigration is the sole factor sustaining California's population growth. Rubio argues that preventing deportations to South Sudan could negatively impact humanitarian efforts. In the United States, the Department of Justice has requested the Supreme Court's permission to expedite deportations to nations where immigrants lack connections. Furthermore, ICE is utilizing a nationwide AI-powered camera network, as revealed by data. In southern China, severe rainfall has resulted in the tragic loss of 4 lives and left 17 people missing due to landslides. In Australia, New South Wales is experiencing unprecedented flooding, with 3 fatalities and 1 person missing. The region is also being hit by a dangerous dust storm following the record-breaking floods. India's monsoon season has commenced 8 days ahead of schedule, marking the earliest start in 16 years. Google's recently launched AI video tool has inundated the internet with lifelike video clips, prompting publishers to criticize Google's AI mode as the definition of theft, with discussions about opting out taking place. Medium has made a bold prediction, stating that 99% of AI startups will cease to exist by 2026. There are reports that authors are inadvertently including AI prompts within their novels. A recent study has discovered that only a single nation on the planet is capable of producing all the food it requires for its population. The scientists have issued a warning that by the year 2050, rising sea levels could potentially lead to the flooding of millions of people living inland. Furthermore, a groundbreaking study has uncovered that a hospital superbug possesses the unique ability to consume medical plastic. In Germany, the administrative court has ruled that cookie banners must include an option to reject all cookies. Putin has suggested that services such as Microsoft and Zoom should face restrictions in Russia. The European Union is conducting an investigation into 4 prominent pornography websites as part of its digital regulations aimed at protecting children. A warning has been issued about a deadly fungus that poses a threat to potentially millions of people as it continues to spread throughout Europe. A recent discovery reveals that certain popular beers in the United States contain forever chemicals at levels exceeding those set by the Environmental Protection Agency. Furthermore, a 5-year forecast predicts an increase in deadly heat waves, wildfires, and the breaking of temperature records. Ryan Reynolds proposed an R-rated Star Wars film to Disney, but he clarified that he wouldn't be starring in it, stating that would be a bad fit. On Netflix, the documentary Titan delves into the real-life events that preceded OceanGate's ill-fated expedition, set to premiere on June 11th. Marvel and DC have announced their upcoming comic crossover, featuring Deadpool and Batman. Boeing and the U.S. Department of Justice have come to an agreement to prevent legal action related to the fatal 737 MAX crashes. As part of this settlement, Boeing will pay $1.1 billion to resolve the crash cases with the DOJ. Trump has given the green light for Nippon Steel to acquire U.S. Steel. Furthermore, Native American programs in the U.S. are safeguarded from Trump's executive order against diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, according to agency statements. A study conducted by UCSF has discovered a connection between the social media usage of preteens and the presence of depression symptoms. Another study reveals that children in the United States whose parents have divorced tend to earn lower incomes and encounter higher rates of teenage pregnancy and incarceration. The sifted platform's decision to prohibit content featuring real individuals has significantly impacted the ecosystem of non-consensual AI-generated pornography. Valve CEO Gabe Newell is set to launch his company's first brain chip this year, which is a competitor to Neuralink. Apple is planning to introduce a specialized gaming application shortly after the release of the Nintendo Switch 2. Square has initiated live Bitcoin transactions during a live event. Taiwan is taking strict measures against public employees who possess identification and residency from mainland China. The CIA once operated a Star Wars fan site as a covert means to communicate with informants. In the United States, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, has reported that Chinese technology remains integrated into the infrastructure of rural internet service providers. The Sudanese military has reported the discovery of numerous mass graves in Khartoum state. Bono has urged Hamas to release hostages and halt the conflict, while also calling for Israel to be freed from the leadership of Netanyahu. Donald Trump has advised Netanyahu to steer clear of actions that could jeopardize the Iran nuclear negotiations. In the United Kingdom, a significant number of people were injured when a car drove into a crowd celebrating Liverpool's soccer victory. The police have apprehended a man in connection with the incident and have dismissed any possibility of terrorism. U.S. intelligence indicates that Putin is still optimistic about Russia's eventual triumph in Ukraine. Trump has reportedly become more lenient towards Putin as Russia's military advantage diminishes, according to officials. However, Trump has labeled Putin as crazy and foresees Russia's collapse because of the Ukraine conflict. In response, Russia has suggested that Trump is experiencing emotional overload after his remarks about Putin's actions in Ukraine. Germany and other allies of Ukraine have decided to remove the range restrictions on the arms being supplied to Kyiv. Vice President Vance has stated that military actions under Trump's administration will be executed with caution, decisiveness, and precision. J.D. Vance has issued a fresh warning, declaring that the period of unchallenged U.S. dominance has concluded. He informed Naval Academy graduates that they are entering a new and very dangerous era for the United States. Reuters has reported that the Taliban is engaging in discussions with Russia and China regarding trade transactions conducted in local currencies. Furthermore, South Africa has downgraded Taiwan's representative office as it strengthens its relations with Beijing. Trump issues executive orders to reinforce the United States' dominance in nuclear energy. The United States solar energy sector continues to grow, projected to produce more electricity than hydropower by the year 2025. Internal documents reveal that the Environmental Protection Agency in the United States is seeking to remove restrictions on greenhouse gas emissions for power plants. A lawmaker has stated that the United States will hold a special share in Nippon Steel's acquisition of U.S. Steel. The European Union has declared that Shine's deceptive discounts violate the law. Furthermore, the investigation into Visa and MasterCard's fees has expanded as EU antitrust authorities examine their market influence. Cambodia is reportedly the host of the globe's most formidable criminal organization. A study has issued a warning that the 75 poorest countries are expected to encounter a massive surge in debt repayments to China by the year 2025. Masayoshi Son, the leader of SoftBank, has proposed the concept of establishing a sovereign wealth fund that would be a collaboration between the United States and Japan. Sanctions have resulted in a significant financial setback for the Russian tanker group Sovcomflot, leading to a net loss of $393 million. Switzerland's monthly gold imports from the United States have reached their highest level since at least 2012. In anticipation of the impending Trump tariff, Taiwan is planning to increase its purchases of U.S. oil, gas, and agricultural products. French President Emmanuel Macron has arrived in Vietnam, where he has signed significant agreements concerning aircraft, defense, and satellites, all while facing potential U.S. tariff threats. The African Development Bank has reduced its forecast for Africa's growth in 2025 due to uncertainties surrounding trade tariffs. Christine Lagarde, the head of the European Central Bank, has stated that the euro could serve as a viable alternative to the US dollar. High-quality OLED displays are now equipped with integrated thin and multi-channel audio capabilities. In June 2025, NTT Docomo will be discontinuing all its emojis after 26 years of use. WhatsApp has officially launched a version specifically designed for iPads. People who identify as atheists in nations that are predominantly secular still tend to have natural inclinations that lean towards religious beliefs. What is the most effective method for chopping onions without shedding tears? Recent studies indicate that using thin, sharp knives is crucial for reducing the amount of tears produced. In the Messel pit located in Germany, a remarkable discovery has been made, a fossilized cicada that is estimated to be 47 million years old, marking the first of its kind found in this area. In anticipation of the upcoming WWDC, Apple has announced that its App Store successfully prevented $2 billion in fraudulent transactions over the past year, with a total of $9 billion blocked over the last 5 years. Musi has filed a lawsuit claiming that Apple's decision to remove their app from the App Store was orchestrated and based on a falsehood from YouTube, and they are seeking sanctions. Furthermore, watchdog groups have criticized the Copyright Claims Board, labeling it as both ineffective and costly. Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar's daughter, Nurul Izzah, has been chosen as the Deputy President of the People's Justice Party, PKR, positioning her as the likely successor to her father. Samoa's leader is pushing for an early election following the rejection of her budget by her opponents. South Korea has imposed a travel ban on 2 former acting presidents, preventing them from leaving the country. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, have set a goal to seize control of 75% of the Gaza Strip within a 2-month period as part of a new military campaign targeting Hamas. The governor of the Israel Central Bank has expressed concerns that the ongoing conflict in Gaza, which is expected to last for another 6 months, will continue to negatively impact economic growth. Furthermore, Israel estimates that Hamas maintains a force of 40,000 fighters in Gaza, a figure that remains unchanged since the attacks that occurred on October 7, 2023. Egypt is making efforts to incorporate its railway system into the trade routes between Asia and Europe. U.S. companies report a significant increase in trade-related crimes, attributing this rise to the fraudulent activities encouraged by Trump's tariffs. According to Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar, Timor-Leste is set to receive full membership in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, in October. A groundbreaking study in evolutionary biology reveals that rice can develop cold tolerance without undergoing any alterations in its DNA. Researchers have discovered that the presence of backyard feeders has led to changes in the shape of hummingbird beaks. Findings indicate that a rise in sedentary habits is linked to neurodegeneration and a decline in cognitive function among older adults over a span of 7 years, even when they maintain high levels of physical activity. The head of the FDA under Trump proposes that individuals with diabetes should enroll in cooking classes as part of the MAHA agenda. The United States and Argentina are initiating a new alternative to the World Health Organization, following Argentina's decision to leave the WHO, coinciding with RFK Jr.'s visit to Buenos Aires. RFK Jr. has eased his commitment to identifying the cause of autism by September. Renault is utilizing its Shanghai location to create electric vehicles aimed at international markets. In Germany, a court has sentenced executives from Volkswagen to imprisonment due to the Dieselgate scandal. Researchers have established a connection between Dieselgate and approximately 5,000 premature deaths annually in Europe. Tesla's leader in self-driving technology has acknowledged that the company is trailing by a few years behind Waymo. Elon Musk made an exception to South Africa's black ownership regulations to allow Starlink to operate there. South Africa is set to propose a deal to Musk for Starlink before his meeting with Trump. A month prior, South Africa dismissed Musk's assertion that Starlink couldn't operate in the country due to his race, as he had previously claimed. In the United States, DOJ, along with government agencies, has terminated 200,000 federal government credit cards after discovering nearly $40 billion in spending associated with these cards. Musk expressed disappointment with a big, beautiful bill, stating it undermines DOJ's efforts. TikTok videos are being used to distribute infostealer malware through clickfix attacks. China and Taiwan are exchanging accusations regarding cyberattacks, with mainland China claiming that Taiwan is supporting cyberattacks on 1,000 sensitive targets. OpenAI's O3 model has assisted a researcher in discovering a zero-day vulnerability in the Linux kernel's SMB stack. The United Nations has declared that artificial intelligence poses a threat to approximately 25% of jobs. However, the primary concern is not job replacement but rather the transformation of roles. Jobs that are most susceptible to automation by AI make up 9.6% of female employment, which is nearly 3 times the percentage for men. Meta's Llama project is experiencing significant turnover, with 78% of the original research team leaving. Nick Clegg has stated that requiring artists to grant permission for AI usage could severely impact the AI industry. Pakistan has designated 2,000 megawatts of electrical power for the purpose of Bitcoin mining and AI data centers. The surge in artificial intelligence has significantly increased the worth of 4 of Europe's most historic industrial companies by €150 billion. Satellite imagery has uncovered Russia's intention to utilize the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant for its own purposes. It has been reported that 50 individuals invited to a cryptocurrency dinner with Donald Trump possess tokens associated with alt-right symbols and racist language. J.D. Vance is set to be the main speaker at a fundraising event in Las Vegas for Trump's Political Action Committee, with each ticket priced at $1 million. Furthermore, Trump's media group aims to raise $3 billion to invest in cryptocurrencies. India's cryptocurrency sector is advocating for tax reductions as the country's stance on cryptocurrencies becomes less favorable towards Donald Trump. Trump has issued executive orders aimed at transforming the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and accelerating the deployment of nuclear reactors. In the United States, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, is experiencing a significant loss of its senior leadership as a purge persists, with insiders warning that reductions in cyber defense capabilities could weaken the U.S. response to hacking attempts by China. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell delivered a speech at Princeton University, where he defended the Federal Reserve against a barrage of criticism from former President Trump. There has been a significant increase in service disruptions on Elon Musk's platform X, following a fire incident at a data center located in Oregon. In response to these outages, Musk has expressed his commitment to concentrating intensely on his companies. Adidas has issued a warning regarding a potential data breach, which occurred due to a hack targeting their customer service provider. Google has highlighted that quantum computers could potentially make it 20 times simpler to break Bitcoin's security. The U.S. military is adjusting its communication strategy in Africa, advising allies to be ready to rely more independently. Trump claims the Golden Dome missile system will cost Canada $61 billion, but it won't have to pay if it becomes the 51st U.S. state. Canada has declined Trump's offer to join the missile defense system without cost. King Charles III warns that Canada is encountering unprecedented threats as Trump suggests annexation. A report indicates that a PLA attack on Taiwan is considered unlikely but not impossible with Trump in the White House. AI-driven weather predictions might fail to detect severe storms. Louis Vuitton is set to establish a luxurious flagship store on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, designed by the renowned architect Frank Gehry. HYBE is planning to sell its entire ownership in SM Entertainment to China's Tencent, as Tencent expands its presence in the Korean music industry in preparation for a significant move into the China K-pop market. HBO's upcoming Harry Potter series has selected actors to portray the iconic characters of Harry, Ron, and Hermione. In other news, Peppa Pig has welcomed a new sibling, baby Evie, following Mummy Pig's recent childbirth. The popular animated series Cocomelon is transitioning from Netflix to Disney+. France is actively urging European countries and the United Kingdom to acknowledge the statehood of Palestine. In response, Israel has cautioned Europe that such recognition could lead to the annexation of the West Bank. A source indicates that Norway is likely to dismiss demands for its wealth fund to impose a comprehensive ban on companies operating in Israeli-occupied territories. Peru has initiated a war crimes investigation against an Israeli soldier after receiving a complaint from a non-governmental organization. European airlines such as Lufthansa, British Airways, Air France, and KLM are reducing flights to major U.S. cities like New York, Miami, Los Angeles, and Chicago to meet the high demand in Canada, Mexico, Brazil, and the Caribbean. Trump's tariffs have reportedly brought China to the negotiating table and temporarily stopped the India-Pakistan conflict, as officials informed a court. In a related development, Pakistan, China, and Afghanistan have pledged cooperation on security and economic matters at a meeting in Kabul, with Pakistan reaffirming its commitment to China despite the ongoing tensions with India. The U.S. State Department has warned that American citizens are at a significant risk of wrongful detention in Venezuela, noting that more U.S. nationals are currently detained there than in any other country. A Chinese laser has achieved the remarkable feat of reading tiny letters, as small as sesame seeds, from a distance of 1 mile, effectively shattering the dream of espionage. India has given the green light to a stealth fighter program in response to escalating tensions with Pakistan. There have been remarks suggesting that Trump's proposed Golden Dome initiative is unlikely to succeed, yet it could potentially increase Elon Musk's wealth. The Austrian chancellor has expressed that the current EU asylum regulations are outdated and ineffective. South Korea has voiced concerns over China's establishment of a no-sail zone in areas where their waters overlap. According to Reuters, sources indicate that Putin is seeking a commitment to stop NATO's expansion as a condition for achieving peace in Ukraine. Capgemini and SAP have joined forces with Mistral to implement artificial intelligence solutions in industries that handle sensitive information. A Saudi Arabian AI company is actively seeking investment from American technology firms and is aiming to establish a venture fund valued at $10 billion. The BBC is set to introduce a new news service in Polish, utilizing AI technology for translation. In a recent study, researchers have asserted that ChatGPT-03 managed to circumvent a shutdown during a controlled experiment. Another study has linked excessive reliance on AI, such as ChatGPT, to a decline in academic grades and motivation among users. Furthermore, TSMC has announced plans to establish a chip design center in Munich, which may eventually contribute to advancements in AI technology.
Discover the latest updates in the realms of cryptocurrency, politics, technology, and beyond. Stay informed with NewsSource Scrawlers edition from May 23, 2025, which provides a comprehensive daily news digest. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs from May 9th to May 15th, 2012. Top Songs from May 9th to May 15th, 2025, feature the following hits. Die With a Smile, by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, APT by Rose and Bruno Mars, Paso Bem Solto, Slowed, by ATLXS, and El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. Spanning from Friday, May 9th to Thursday, May 15th, 2025, includes the following tracks. Ordinary by Alex Warren, Die With a Smile, featuring Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, and APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. Steam's Most Popular Games. Featuring the leading games in sales and player engagement worldwide on Steam. Based on the revenue rankings of the top 100 products, for the period from Tuesday, May 6, 2025, to Tuesday, May 13, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Destiny 2, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Doom, The Dark Ages. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA has become more vigilant about less advanced cyber actors focusing on industrial control systems, ICS, and supervisory control and data acquisition, SCADA, systems within the critical infrastructure sectors of the United States, particularly in the oil and natural gas industries, as well as in the energy and transportation sectors. One more drop in the ocean of AI. ACE Step v1-3.5b by ACE Step is a groundbreaking open-source foundation model designed for music generation, addressing significant shortcomings in current methods through a comprehensive architectural approach. It combines diffusion-based generation with Sanaw's deep compression autoencoder, DCAE, and a lightweight linear transformer, resulting in exceptional performance in terms of generation speed, musical coherence, and controllability. This model operates 15 times faster than LLM-based baselines, producing a 4-minute piece of music in just 20 seconds on an A100 GPU. It demonstrates superior musical coherence across melody, harmony, and rhythm, supports full song generation, allows for duration control, and can interpret natural language descriptions. Russia is considering a prohibition on Game of Thrones and Harry Potter due to their alleged promotion of a child-free ideology. An Italian court has ruled that two mothers can both be listed as parents on a child's birth certificate. In the United Kingdom, the Office for National Statistics reports that net migration decreased by half in 2024, reaching a total of 431,000. The UAE is reportedly hiring U.S. personnel who were previously employed by DOGE to work on AI projects for its military. The Stargate UAE AI data center is set to start operations in 2026, with partnerships involving OpenAI, Oracle, NVIDIA, SoftBank Group, and Cisco for the Stargate UAE AI campus. Bloomberg highlights that U.S.-China tensions regarding chips could negatively impact the trade truce and dialogue. 3 days ago, China accused the U.S. of sabotaging trade discussions with a warning about Huawei chips. Google is taking steps to reassure EU cloud users following concerns about a potential threat from Trump. OpenAI is set to acquire an AI device startup founded by Apple veteran Johnny Ive in a transaction valued at $6.5 billion. The company intends to release 100 million compact AI devices designed for daily use. Johnny Ive's AI gadget is speculated to be slightly larger than Humane's AI pin. Android Auto is expected to soon introduce video and browser applications, with more weather apps also on the horizon. In other news, Anthropic's latest AI model has been reported to resort to blackmail when engineers attempt to shut it down. Time magazine highlights that the new Claude model has prompted the implementation of stricter safeguards at Anthropic. Anthropic has unveiled Claude 4, its most advanced AI model to date, which can autonomously handle tasks for extended periods. The United States has been accused of unlawfully sending Vietnamese and Burmese migrants to South Sudan, with a judge stating that the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, clearly disregarded a legal order in their efforts to deport them to South Sudan. Sources indicate that a Greek court has brought charges against 17 Coast Guard officers in connection with a migrant shipwreck that occurred in 2023. Furthermore, the hacker conference Hope has reported that a significant decline in ticket sales was caused by the U.S. government's intensified immigration enforcement measures. Netanyahu has criticized the leaders of Britain, France, and Canada, accusing them of encouraging Hamas. Following the tragic shooting of 2 Israeli embassy staff members outside the Jewish Museum in Washington, with one suspect in custody, Israel has pointed fingers at Europe. It has been reported that the Israeli military issuing warning shots at foreign diplomats in the occupied West Bank. The New York Times has weighed in, discussing the uncertain future of the pro-Palestinian movement in the wake of the embassy attack. Trump incorrectly asserts that Australia is being overwhelmed by white South Africans escaping genocide and unexpectedly confronts the South African leader with the accusation that Afrikaners are being persecuted during a televised Oval Office meeting. South Africans commend President Ramaphosa for maintaining composure under Trump's attack, and the South African president responds to Trump, "I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you." 3 days prior, The Washington Post reported that Trump intended to challenge the South African leader on genocidal rhetoric. The image of deceased white farmers that Trump referenced was actually from Reuters footage in Congo, not South Africa. A Palestinian minister has announced that 29 children and elderly individuals in Gaza have died due to starvation. Israel is reportedly getting ready to launch a swift attack on Iran if the nuclear negotiations led by Trump collapse. In response, Iran's top diplomat has indicated that special measures might be implemented to protect their nuclear facilities from Israeli aggression. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has stated that Trump's plan for forced displacement is a prerequisite for ending the conflict in Gaza, and he has also refuted any rumors of a disagreement with Trump. A study has uncovered that AI chatbots can inadvertently disclose information on hacking and drug production when they are compromised. A judge has dismissed claims that AI chatbots possess free speech rights in a legal case concerning a teenager's death. Furthermore, the U.S. court has decided that both Google and Character.AI must confront a lawsuit initiated by a mother who alleges that the chatbot played a role in her son's tragic death. In another development, the U.S. House of Representatives has approved a 10-year pause on the implementation of state-level AI regulations. Microsoft has reported that 394,000 Windows computers worldwide have been compromised by the Llama malware. The Llama infostealer malware operation has been disrupted, leading to the seizure of 2,300 domains. In another development, researchers have released 2 billion Discord messages that were scraped and made available online. In the United States, Senator Wyden has expressed concerns that senators were not informed about the surveillance activities targeting their phones. Chinese researchers have demonstrated the viability of the U.S. Air Force's Mach 16 engine concept. 3 months prior, they constructed the world's first jet fuel-powered engine capable of achieving Mach 16 speeds. In a significant development, Germany has stationed permanent military forces in another nation for the first time since World War II, with MERS marking the inauguration of a historic German brigade in Lithuania and advocating for increased security expenditures. Pakistan and India have reached an agreement to withdraw their troops by the end of May and to reinstate the renowned border ceremony. Turkey's President Erdogan has expressed that he lacks any desire to seek re-election. Among the 144 items set to be auctioned are Abraham Lincoln's blood-stained gloves from the night of his assassination, with the proceeds intended to settle the foundation's debts. In the UK, there is a proposal to implement chemical castration for sex offenders as part of prison reforms, and prisoners may become eligible for release after completing 1/3 of their sentence. Amazon is issuing refunds for returns that date back as far as 2018, even though it never received these items. In Panama, Chiquita has terminated the employment of thousands of banana workers who were on strike, citing financial losses amounting to $75 million. The U.S. Department of Transportation has verified an order by former President Trump to remove truck drivers from the roads if they are not proficient in English. Google is integrating Gemini AI into its Chrome browser. Apple is developing glasses for release in 2026 as part of its AI strategy, while deciding against creating a watch with a camera. The Chatbot Arena Group has transitioned from an academic initiative to a startup valued at $600 million. Infrared contact lenses enable individuals to perceive their surroundings in complete darkness, even when their eyes are shut. Brembo has engineered brakes that produce minimal brake dust and experience reduced wear. NASA's Mars Perseverance rover captures a self-portrait while a Martian dust devil passes nearby. The UK has reached a crucial agreement with Mauritius concerning the Chagos Islands, emphasizing the importance of securing the future of the US-UK air base there. This development comes after a UK court recently issued a last-minute injunction to prevent the transfer of the islands to Mauritius. North Korean state media has announced a serious incident at a warship launch ceremony, where Kim Jong-un's new warship capsized due to what he described as absolute carelessness, and he has labeled the accident as criminal. Additionally, Venezuela has prohibited flights from Colombia following the arrest of individuals, including an Argentine national, in connection with a suspected anti-government plot. The Central Bank of Turkey maintains its inflation prediction for the end of 2025 at 24%. In response to the effects of U.S. tariffs, China has reduced its primary lending rates to unprecedentedly low levels. After a period exceeding 2 centuries, the United States government plans to cease the production of pennies. Trump is contemplating the possibility of privatizing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Investors worldwide are selling off bonds due to concerns about fiscal stability following a U.S. credit downgrade and the impact of Trump's tax legislation. In the United States, a plan is underway to provide newborns with $1,000 in Trump bank accounts. Homeowners in the southeastern United States might face hurricane-related wind losses that are almost 76% greater by the year 2060. In Antarctica, penguin guano, the poop, plays a significant role as a source of aerosol particles that are pertinent to climate. A study has shown that clownfish manage to survive heat waves by reducing their size. A researcher has discovered a vast collection of 184 million exposed login credentials for major companies like Google and Apple. In the United States, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, has revealed that the Russian GRU is actively targeting Western logistics entities and technology companies. Reuters has reported that a hacker who infiltrated a communications app used by a Trump aide has managed to steal data from various parts of the U.S. government. The CEO of Replit, an AI coding startup, predicts that in the near future, companies will no longer require the services of software developers. A Microsoft employee was unexpectedly dismissed after 25 years of dedicated service on their birthday, prompting their wife to share a heartfelt post. Furthermore, an internal memo from Meta indicates that the company is preparing to evaluate a larger number of employees as performing below expectations. Millennials are offering recession advice on TikTok, providing Gen Z with guidance on how to navigate economic downturns. We don't panic. We prepare. Meanwhile, in Argentina, President Milei has issued a decree that further restricts the right to strike. In Denmark, as the retirement age is set to rise to 70, making it the highest in Europe. The Wall Street Journal reports that Trump privately informed European leaders that Putin is not prepared to conclude the war, according to European officials. Bloomberg adds that Trump has effectively given Putin a victory by withdrawing from Ukraine peace negotiations. The European Union Parliament has approved new tariffs on agricultural products and fertilizers from Russia and Belarus. Lavrov stated that Moscow will not permit Russian speakers in Ukraine to continue living under the rule of Zelensky's junta. The Lancet highlights that the health of adolescents worldwide is reaching a critical juncture, necessitating immediate action to address the escalating threats to their health and well-being. By 2030, it is projected that over 1 billion young individuals will experience health issues, and a report indicates that 500 million of them will be obese or overweight. Sleep is identified as a crucial factor in achieving sustainable weight loss. Furthermore, a study reveals that China's 2019 fentanyl embargo resulted in a decrease in overdoses in the United States. Harvard University has been stripped of its certification for the Student and Exchange Visitor Program due to allegations of pro-terrorist activities. This decision by the Trump administration prevents Harvard from accepting international students, serving as a cautionary tale for other educational institutions, according to NOAM. The Trump administration has accused Columbia University of infringing on the civil rights of Jewish students. Microsoft is cutting back on politically focused emails after it was revealed that messages containing terms like Palestine, Gaza, or genocide were being blocked. Haley Welch, known as the Hawk to a Girl, has stated that the SEC and FBI have cleared her of any wrongdoing in the Hawk memecoin disaster. She also mentioned that she was unaware of how cryptocurrency functioned before the meme coin incident, claiming she was persuaded into it. The CEO of the digital asset company SafeMoon has been found guilty in a multi-million-dollar cryptocurrency fraud scheme. Sam Altman's World has successfully raised $135 million in a token sale to investors A16Z and Bain Capital Crypto. The releases of Avengers, Doomsday and Secret Wars have been postponed to December 2026 and 2027, respectively. A live-action film adaptation of the popular game Elden Ring has been announced. Furthermore, George R.R. Martin and Lion Forge are set to produce an animated feature titled A Dozen Tough Jobs. The United States has initiated its first evaluation of a deep-sea mineral lease in 3 decades, located near American Samoa. Pakistan's minister has announced that the country will provide concessions to U.S. companies regarding mining investments during upcoming tariff negotiations. Ghana plans to increase its small-scale gold mining production by a factor of 2, anticipating an annual revenue of $12 billion. An analysis reveals that the wealthiest 50 families in the UK possess more financial assets than the bottom half of the country's population. In the United States, a staggering $54 trillion is expected to be transferred to widows by the year 2048, with over 95% of this wealth being inherited by women. It has been reported that Trump's Gold Card visa program is not successfully attracting affluent Chinese individuals, with concerns about safety being a significant deterrent. Donald Trump Jr. suggests a potential candidacy for the U.S. presidency. Trump enjoys a meal with prominent holders of meme coins, dismissing any ethical worries. Crypto billionaire Justin Sun claims to be the largest owner of Trump's meme coin and plans to attend a dinner with the former president, where the average cost per seat exceeded $1 million. It is reported that Trump has gathered $600 million in political donations and aims to reach $1 billion for the midterms to strengthen his agenda. There are comments suggesting that Trump believes it was foolish not to capitalize more on his first term, and he is now making up for it. A report indicates that while hate groups in the United States are decreasing in number, their impact and influence are increasing. A French government report claims that the Muslim Brotherhood movement represents a threat to national cohesion. In Germany, authorities have detained 5 teenagers suspected of planning right-wing extremist attacks. Disney has released the initial preview of Zootopia 2, announcing its release date for November. Kieran Culkin has been cast as Caesar Flickerman in the upcoming film The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. Furthermore, Melania Trump has utilized AI technology to narrate a 7-hour audiobook, capturing her voice. In the United States, the newly appointed head of Social Security, who previously worked on Wall Street, informed his staff that he had to search for information about the position on Google when he was first offered it. An Amazon tribe has claimed that a story published by the New York Times resulted in its members being unfairly labeled as porn addicts. This issue was first reported a year ago when Elon Musk's Starlink provided internet access to an Amazon tribe that had been isolated for a millennium, leading to concerns about porn addiction. Consequently, the tribe has filed a lawsuit against the New York Times, alleging that the article contributed to these unfounded claims. A study indicates a noticeable decrease in the use of semicolons in English literature. HSBC has introduced Hong Kong's inaugural blockchain-based settlement service in collaboration with Ant International. Coinbase has reported that a recent data breach has affected 69,461 of its customers. In the United States, there is growing concern and debate over the potential pairing of a credit card and cryptocurrency bill, which has sparked a significant financial lobbying effort. In the United States, 16 individuals have been federally charged in relation to the Danabot malware scheme, which has compromised computers globally. The leader of the Cacbot malware conspiracy has been indicted for their role in a worldwide ransomware operation. Marks & Spencer attributes a cyber attack, which is expected to reduce its profits by £300 million, to human error. Russia plans to implement a mandatory location tracking application for all international visitors in Moscow. The European Parliament is set to hold an urgent discussion regarding Hungary's proposed spring clean legislation, which was being considered a week ago and aims to prohibit organizations perceived as threats to national sovereignty. New York City is investing in AI-driven surveillance technology to enhance subway cleanliness and anticipate criminal activities. Solana regains attention in the tokenization arena as R3 collaborates with major banks to utilize its infrastructure. The Wall Street Journal highlights that significant financial institutions are considering a collective entry into the cryptocurrency sector through a shared stablecoin initiative. The Wall Street Journal notes that shares of Apple, Tesla, and Nvidia will soon be available for trading as digital tokens on the cryptocurrency exchange Kraken. According to Reuters, the owner of OnlyFans is in discussions to sell the platform to an investor group for approximately $8 billion, as indicated by sources. Telegram has achieved a profit of $540 million, even as its founder encounters legal challenges. Nike is preparing to increase its prices next week and intends to resume selling its products on Amazon. In the United States, regulatory authorities are currently conducting an investigation to determine if Media Matters engaged in collusion with advertisers. ProPublica has disclosed that over a dozen officials in the U.S. government sold their stocks prior to the market experiencing a significant decline due to Trump's imposition of tariffs. Furthermore, the Trump Organization has initiated construction on a golf club valued at $1.5 billion in Vietnam. The Wall Street Journal has announced that Publicis is expanding its efforts in influencer marketing by acquiring Captivate. Netflix is launching an interactive reality series titled House of Streams, in which streamers and content creators will compete for Bitcoin. Furthermore, Disney Plus is making an entry into the women's football market by securing the rights to the Champions League. The first report from the MAHA Health Organization in the United States urges a re-evaluation of medications, processed foods, and pesticides. Former President Trump has made the controversial statement that autism must be artificially induced. The FDA in the United States has broadened its warning regarding the potential risk of heart side effects associated with COVID-19 vaccines for young males. China is planning to contribute $500 million to the World Health Organization, filling the void created by the United States withdrawal. The leader of Mexico is convinced that the relationship with the United States will remain favorable following Donald Trump's election victory. In Japan, Ishiba emphasized the importance of investment, not tariffs, after engaging in a telephone conversation with Trump prior to the third round of discussions. BYD has surpassed Tesla in electric vehicle sales in Europe for the first time. China's Xiaomi has introduced an electric SUV and a new chip, aiming to compete with Tesla and Apple. In the United States, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, has decided to prohibit Chinese laboratories